The etymology for the word idea is a concept of a thing in the mind of God. The suffix form of root weed, to see. Weed, Proto-Indo-European root meaning to see. It forms all or part of advise, clairvoyant, deja vu, eidetic, envy, evident. And if you go down, wisdom. All right, so just keep these in mind as we go along. But also improvise, okay? Improvise. Vision as well. Just all of these. So just note all of these, all right? These are all good. Ideas are streamed for collective control. Deja vu, clairvoyance, visions, like these all come from the same channel. Ideas lead to inventions. Inventions lead to structural changes in our reality that impacts the lives of millions, possibly billions of inhabitants. Ideas are attractive to other people. They inspire other people because you brought that idea that started here into a physical manifestation that other people can see out here. So internally first, held it long enough to bring it externally. So you can say energetically, ideas create a domino effect consciously. So ideas are streamed from a higher dimension. Let's say that you built a smart city, right? You built a smart city, and the inhabitants of your smart city were like bots, AI bots, that use silicone skin, and their organs, their mind, like everything was like flesh-like, right? And they had the ability to reproduce. And you know where I'm going with this, okay? So their mind that was built by this generation of current humans, right? Like they built a receiver in the mind to send and receive signals like Bluetooth. And to be like laissez-faire, to have the bots experience full autonomy, and so that you can truly have an experience of a watcher of what happens when you let the smart city just be fully like just you, not they don't even know that you exist, right? And when you want to make structural changes inside of the infrastructure, you send them signals via the receiver in their brain. And then these ideas that are received, they usually can take on a life of their own. So again, ideas are streamed from a higher dimension. Beyond the dimensions, the boundaries of the inhabitants of the lower dimension, below, but the watchers that created the digital simulation, the virtual simulation, but for the inhabitants of the simulation, to them is a physical simulation, right? So ideas are task. Ideas are a byproduct of electromagnetic radiation. Same with heat, same with light, ultraviolet rays. These are all forms of electromagnetic radiation. Another way of interpreting this would be ideas are light codes. Do you know why the sun energizes you? Wireless charging. Heat is electromagnetic radiation. Your body is fueled by electromagnetic radiation. Side note, I believe this is noteworthy. So you know how the sun gives you a certain type of energy, vitality, right? Youthfulness, endurance, all of this. Now, when our sun station, like imagine when Alaska receives like, I believe it's like 30 days of night, and when Finland receives, like Finland and Norway, other places receive like believe like 30 days or 2 months. I believe it's 2 months of night in Alaska and then 2 months of light in Finland or Norway. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, you can see a certain area where the sun like stations, right? When it goes in that area, it stations at a certain place. So imagine if our sun was a visiting star to inhabitants beyond the boundary of the ice wall, beyond the boundary of the firmament, in the same way as we see like Jupiter for a certain amount of time in the night and Saturn for a certain amount of time, right? Because these luminaries could be main stars for other places beyond the firmament. I just want to sprinkle that in your mind just to have you ponder about that, maybe ruminate about that for a second. All right, end of side note. So, in The Sims, how you can send the Sims like instructions, with the keystroke. And then in the Sims, I can only imagine for them, if they had any form of autonomy or like consciousness, then their digital reality that you perceive to be digital for them would be a physical reality, right? Because keystrokes would be pleasure for them, like real pleasure, especially if they had consciousness. Now, the reason that they have been able to build their world is because you've streamlined the information to them, right? The micro reflects the macro. You saw where I was going with that, okay? Now, I want you to imagine the astral realm to be a dimension, a realm that is beyond the limit of sight, right? We can only see light on the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, imagine if the astral realm was just an extension of this place where your consciousness, your soul goes while your pod is being charged, while your host is being charged. And while you're there, it's like a form of review. Like it's you enter into like the nucleus of the space where ideas are streamed to your subconscious mind. That substitutes your conscious mind where you are in the astral realm, the subconscious mind. That is the direct receiver of the clairvoyance, of these like ideas, of the wisdom. Hello? Then you have this form of electromagnetic energy that creates the tangibility. And I'm pretty sure when the Sims gets to like, I don't know, I don't even know what version they're on right now, but when they insert AI into the Sims and the Sim starts to question like, oh shit, where am I? Then they too would notice the Mandela effects. So if consciousness is streamed, then consciousness is data. Heat is emotion, energy in motion. And an idea is a concept of a thing in the mind of God or the creator, source energy. Conceptual, contextual. Now, I'll leave you with this. You know that saying like two heads are better than one? Now, when a man and a woman get together in the intent of procreation, then each transmitter, right, that is both like powerful and both can receive the ideas, right, depending on how clear the channel is, how decalcified your pineal gland is. Then when those two minds get together and they procreate and they both want, like, let's say like a child, and when you manifest, especially when you use your root chakra to manifest, then the idea, the manifestation becomes even stronger because you have two people that are bringing down the same thing from the cloud. And so the child is an idea, which is why most parents can see their child before they come, because the child is an idea first. and then the idea, right, becomes a physical manifestation. Then that physical manifestation, being an individual, goes out and changes the lives of billions. Let's hope in a positive way.